Guys, welcome to the I Love CVille Show. My name is Jerry Miller. It's good to be with you. Good afternoon, Tuesday. Thank you kindly for joining us. December 8th, shockingly, 17 days away from Christmas. 16 and a half, actually. It's 12:30. Again, thank you for joining us. A really good program lined up for you. Three very talented, very beautiful, very intelligent, just three ladies on today's program that get stuff done. And I was going to use a different word from that. But these three ladies get stuff done. Rachel and Laura and Val are going to join us on today's program. We are fearing more COVID restrictions today. The governor is kind of already teased that more restrictions are coming. We'll lead the program with that in a matter of moments. The super spreader event that was Thanksgiving is in fact causing cases to rise yet again. We'll speculate what's in store for this afternoon in the governor's press conference. Here's some good news. This is some good news. Vaccinations are being rolled out this month for frontline workers at UVA Hospital. The first shot of a 2-shot vaccine for UVA frontline staffers, December 15th. I mean, come on. We need to embrace the fact that the vaccination is hitting UVA Hospital on December 15th for frontline workers. That is positive news. The second shot of a 2-shot vaccine 21 days after the first. So we'll talk on that a little bit. We have the first ghost kitchen opening in Charlottesville. In the city of Charlottesville. We'll touch on that topic. Richmond School Board wants to remain virtual for the rest of the year. The Greyhound Building and its parking lot on West Main Street is about to be sold. It is about to trade hands. And what will travel look like in 2021? We'll welcome Xavier, who you may know from CVille Hop-On Tours, the co-founder of CVille Hop-On Tours. He also owns CVille Travel. I mean, he's a serial entrepreneur in the travel space. He will give us his take on 2021 travel. Give the show a like and a share. Valorie Easter is going to join us to spotlight Uncle Yogi's Picnic Basket, a new brand in the CBD space. Folks, if you watch this program, an emerging category that entrepreneurs are putting perspectives and business models and give me 40 page PowerPoint slide presentations. It's CBD and Cannabis, okay? This is the third brand that our advertising agency, V&V Brands and I Love CVille, have been pitched a CBD or cannabis model. Now, Val's got this buttoned up. She's not really pitching it. She's just showcasing to the world what she's got cooking. And I'm excited to help her showcase that on the I Love CVille show. If you're a UVA football fan, you got to ask yourself this question. Will Bronco Mendenhall and the UVA football team play in a bowl game this year? And before you say, hell yeah, they will, why wouldn't they play in the postseason after they beat Virginia Tech on Saturday? Cross your fingers, knock on wood. Let's just say UVA beats Virginia Tech on Saturday. That's going to be December 12th. If they finish the season with a win over Virginia Tech, they're 6-4. They've won 5 straight ball games. Are you then going to ask student athletes on the UVA football team from December 12th to their bowl game, which could happen after Christmas, to remain on grounds in Charlottesville when there are no other students, to stay away from their family because they have to quarantine because they're part of the football team, and then also miss Christmas? Because that's what we would be asking the Virginia football team to do if they choose to play in a postseason bowl game after beating Virginia Tech, knock on wood, on Saturday. You would be asking the players to stay on grounds from December 13th until the bowl game, which is generally after Christmas, to quarantine and stay away from all people, and to miss the Christmas holiday with their family and friends after a pretty arduous and miserable fall semester for these players. So the question I'm going to ask you, Virginia football, are they going to be playing in a bowl game this fall? The chances may be slimming down. Maybe slimming down. All right, I think the lead of the show, without question, however, has got to be the scuttlebutt that's circulating around the city of Charlottesville, and that's the governor's announcement and Ralph potentially banning and outlawing indoor dining today. That's the conversation that's being had amongst City Hall, Albemarle County Board of Supervisors, the governor's mansion, and leadership within this community. The speculation is today an announcement is made that bans indoor dining. What do? It's 28 degrees outside. How many of us are going to eat outside in the cold? We do it, but I understand we're not the norm. What's the plan for the next 3 to 4 months as we get to a vaccination? And I'm watching CNBC this morning, and the financial markets, the reporters that cover it, say by the second quarter of next year, we could potentially have a glut of vaccines. Too many. But we got to get there first. So a lot we got to cover on the program. Speculation is the governor today bans indoor dining. Time will tell. We'll follow that closely. Now, a positive note, I touched on this briefly. A good friend of this program, his name is Matthew Gillikin, works for UVA Hospital, and on his Facebook page yesterday, in very public fashion, I'm not speaking out of turn here, he posted it on Facebook. He showed an email he got about vaccinations for frontline workers within the UVA hospital system. And the plan is to start the vaccine on the 15th of December, with the second shot of a 2-shot vaccine happening 21 days after the 15th. That is good news. Frontline workers first, vulnerable populations like senior centers and nursing homes. And then we start rolling out this beast. Then we start rolling out what is arguably the most important vaccine in a long period of time in American history. Now we start rolling it out. So if you're watching this program, that's news you need to tell your friends. That's news we need to champion and celebrate, please. In a what has been at times a hopeless 2020. Have you ever felt hopeless or dejected or downtrodden or demoralized or depressed or downright down in the dumps during COVID? I have. Have you? I felt all those feelings. Vaccine combats that, and it's light at the end of the tunnel. Embrace it and share it with your friends. We need hope. Now, CVille's first ghost kitchen that I know of, and correct me if I'm wrong. Someone correct me if I'm wrong, please. CVille's ghost kitchen, I think, just launched last night, and I'm going to butcher the name. Judah, do we want to get your mic, active so you can correct me when I butcher this name? And get the menu on screen if you could. CVille's first ghost kitchen just launched where, Judah Wickhauer? Say it to everybody.
Brasserie Saison.
Brasserie, say it again.
Brasserie Saison.
Brasserie Saison. Thank you. I love the ghost kitchen concept from what these guys are doing. You got the menu on screen? You do have it on screen? What do we call it? It's Mr. Nice Guy? Is that what it is, Judah?
That's what it looks like.
Okay, so I'm gonna. This is Brasserie Saison Belgian. It's a Belgian restaurant, a Belgian motifed restaurant. Well, look at the menu they're rolling out. Mr. Nice Guy. They got their own Instagram account. They got their own logo. Mr. Nice Guy's got its social media handles. Mr. Nice Guy clearly has an affection for cannabis, because the $10 menu for Mr. Nice Guy, the kitchen and the team behind Brasserie Saison. The $10 menu is categorized as dime bags. The $15 menu, dubs, baby. And then you got the midnight freezer. This menu is completely different from their menu. And I love the creativity and innovativeness shown by this team. Pizza rolls, sticky, icky pork belly, egg rolls, a snack pack combo, jalapeno poppers, pork shrimp dumplings, Juicy Lucy, Fat Pants, Mr. Chisel, Mac Attack. These are just some of the items on the Mr. Nice Guy menu by the team at Brasserie Saison. This is great. For the next 3 to 4 months, the majority of the population is not going to sit outside under a tent wearing jackets, freezing their cojones off while eating food. I do it. My wife does it. Our inner circle friends do it. But we do that because we're passionate about food and we're passionate about supporting the Charlottesville and Central Virginia community. Just because we do it doesn't mean it's the norm. The reality is frigid temperatures keep people inside when the expectation is they have to eat outside with a jacket on because of COVID. To counter those expectations, you're seeing a ghost kitchen open on the downtown mall that has a menu that's $10 to $15. And it's a menu based on comfort food. Food that you can eat at home on your couch while binge watching Queen's Gambit on Netflix. It's a damn good show. You got to watch it. The ladies that we're about to welcome on the program in 9 minutes, Laura and Rachel. Look at what they're doing with CVille Supper Club. These ladies and their team, freaking brilliant. They were one of the first to create outside seating and to prioritize it with The Lot on Market Street. The Lot was great. They took a parking lot that was little utilized, they put a tent over it, and they made outdoor dining. And they did it before anybody else. Now they're pivoting yet again, and they're creating a supper club. And the supper club is going to have meal kits that you can buy. Meal kits that are going to take away the hassle of making a meal for your family of 4 at home. This is genius. This is innovative. This is creative. This is pivoting. Frankly speaking, this is Darwinism at its finest. Survival of the fittest. You're seeing some do whatever they can to fight tooth and nail to just make it to the damn vaccine. And that's what freaking life is right now as a business owner. It's make it to the effing vaccine. Brasserie Saison is changing a Belgian menu into stoner food. I'm going to say it again. Brasserie Saison is changing a Belgian menu into freaking stoner food. 2 of the best restaurants in Charlottesville and Bizou and Bang are creating a freaking supper club. This is Darwin. We are in a Darwinistic society right now. It's freaking fight tooth and nail to survive. And the strong will, and the ones that don't innovate or try new, they will freaking die. And that's just facts. I'm excited to chat about this with Rachel and Laura. 8 minutes, ladies. We'll Skype you. Stoner food from Brasserie Saison. And I can assure you, Laura Fonner had some influence on that menu. You know what this reminds me of? Someone tell Curtis Shaver. Is Curtis Shaver watching? Curtis Shaver is a good friend of this program, Peloton Station. One of my favorite places to go is Peloton Station. Very COVID-friendly Peloton Station. Huge outside patio, huge inside restaurant. Remember before Peloton opened, Curtis, who knows sandwiches like the Pope knows holy water. Curtis knows sandwiches. Curtis was the executive chef at Hamilton's on the downtown mall. Hamilton's on the downtown mall used to do the sandwich lab. And periodically, I don't know if it was once a week, once every 2 weeks, whatever it may be, Curtis would come up with these heady sandwiches. They would announce it 2 days before the sandwiches were released on the Hamilton's Facebook page. I think they even created a Sandwich Lab Facebook page. And 48 hours, 72 hours beforehand, don't hold me to the actual number, it's something like that, a couple days beforehand, they say, we have 25 of these super heady sandwiches available for pickup only at this time at Hamilton's. Here's the price. And these MFers would sell out before the actual pickup day. They were pre-selling the Sandwich Lab sandwiches, and they were using Hamilton's as the pickup spot for the super deluxe heady Sammys. That's genius. That's survival. That's monetizing slow times where businesses otherwise do not have foot traffic. That's utilizing staff and making sure they stay busy and monetizing slower time periods. The Sandwich Lab and Mr. Nice Guy, the stoner food from Brasserie Saison, it's the same damn concept. Eventually, we will live in a food world where your food and the taste of it is just as important as your brand on social media and the amount of people you reach. Because eventually it's going to be a society in a food world where you're going to leverage this damn thing that's a drug addiction. And if you don't think smartphones and social media are a drug addiction, you're crazy. The feeling you get when you see your post get a like, a share, a heart, or a comment is a rush to your brain, whether you realize it or not. And before you know it, you are chasing that rush like you're chasing a high. And the F&B business eventually will be as much about good food as your brand on social media. Does it reach a lot of people? How often do you post content? Are people engaging with it? Are you using your content to get the menu out, like Mr. Nice Guy or the Sandwich Lab or the CVille Supper Club? We'll talk about with Laura and Rachel here in about 4 minutes. A couple items I want to get out of the notebook before we welcome them to the program. Richmond School Board, if you can get that on screen, the Richmond School Board has voted 8-1. This happened last night for the Richmond City School System to stay virtual through the rest of the year. That was an 8-1 vote. Heartbreaking for kids and parents. I understand this pandemic is terrifying. I understand we're afraid. I get it. But and some of you may think we should have school in person. And some of you may think we should have in-person dining in restaurants. And that's your prerogative. We'll agree to disagree. We'll agree to disagree, because I don't feel that way. But we're in America, and we can respectfully agree to disagree because we all can have opinions and we can coexist. Either way, I think we could agree on this. How we went to school, whether it was kindergarten or senior year in high school, it wasn't done over a computer. It wasn't done with sports seasons being canceled, clubs being canceled, proms and welcome back dances and Sadie Hawkins being canceled, and first kiss being missed, and dates at the movies with your crush from sophomore, junior, or senior year in high school not happening. We can agree on this, that this school year has been crappy for kids. You may think that they should stay home and learn virtually, and that's your prerogative, and I'm not judging you. I personally disagree with that. What we can all agree on is this school year has been crappy for kids. Richmond City, virtual the rest of the year. Virginia Tech has had an uptick in applications, so much so that Virginia Tech has had more students apply as of this point this year than all of last year. Think about that. More people have applied to go to Virginia Tech at this point of the year than all of last year combined. To date, Virginia Tech has received 31,915 applications, compared with 31,041 total applications last year. That's an 874 application bump, a 2.8% increase, and we ain't even done yet. Same things happen in Charlottesville. This is the situation we have. More in Charlottesville, I'm going to say Charlottesville, more students than ever before are wanting to go to the University of Virginia. People from outside Central Virginia are moving to the Charlottesville area because of the impact COVID has had on their life. They want to get out of cities. They want a little bit more land. They remember 4 wonderful years at UVA where they had the best 4 years of their life. They're waxing nostalgic, and they want to relive that pleasure by relocating their family to Central Virginia. COVID's changing the dynamics of CVille. And the predicament we are in is this. If more students are moving to Charlottesville than ever before to attend the University of Virginia, and more people from outside Central Virginia are buying homes in the area because of COVID-19 and because they want to improve quality of life, what is going to happen to the housing stock and the cost of living in this area if more students come to UVA and more people from outside the area move into Central Virginia? It's going to make the area more expensive than ever before. Mark it down. You have a real estate inventory pinch. You have University of Virginia students trying to come here at record rates. And you have boys and girls, people from outside Central Virginia moving here quickly. It's going to get more expensive than ever before to live here. We'll cover that next week on the program. Take a look at this side panel over here for me, J-Dubs. Thank you very much. All right, the Greyhound Building. The Greyhound Building on West Main Street is about to be sold. The Greyhound Building on West Main Street is about to be sold. Side panel's not logging, J-Dubs. That's what I was referencing. You got to get the side panel going. Thank you. The Greyhound Building on West Main Street is about to be sold. The expectation for this deal is it's going to happen soon. And this is according to Jason Heatherthington of CBRE. The building will sell somewhere in the neighborhood of $4 million. The Greyhound Building is in a phenomenal location. West Main Street, and it's not just the building, it's the parking lot too. We'll follow this transaction very closely on the I Love CVille show, as this building, the Greyhound Building, is a key component of the West Main Streetscape and the entry into downtown Charlottesville. All right, before we get to, and we're going to get to you ladies very shortly, before we get to Rachel and Laura, I want to talk travel in 2021. On a show we do Tuesdays and Fridays on the I Love CVille Network. It's called Real Talk with Keith Smith. It's presented by the Yes Team Realtors. We did that show this morning at 10:15 a.m. We had Andre Xavier. Get ready for that sizzle reel, Judah Wickhauer. We had Andre Xavier, the co-founder of CVille Hop on Tours. He's the owner of CVille Travel. He is a serial entrepreneur in the travel space. We straight up asked him, what does travel look like in 2021? Here's what Andre Xavier had to say. Judah, give me that sound in 3, 2, 1.
We're all forward-thinking people, right, on this call, on what we're doing right here. But that's the reason I wanted to talk a little bit about travel. And we had like a really great conversation offline on that end of it. You know, I think you're going to start seeing, and you're the travel guy, right? We're going to start seeing some stuff opening up after the first quarter as far as travel. If we can get this vaccine going in the right direction, and Europe is predicting the same thing. We had a great article we read from the Euro News on that end of it. So let's just talk a little bit about your travel business, right, and how you see it going. Kind of take that specific laser look at travel, and then I'll talk to you a little bit about my personal opinion on it.
Absolutely. So travel definitely is going to change the way we travel moving forward, starting next year. I believe we're seeing already trends on ecotourism, agritourism. Yep. Folks will be wanting to be outside. They want to be with nature. I think that is a strong trend. And also domestic travel. Before we can go overseas, we're going to see people traveling domestically. And I think Charlottesville, Albemarle County, we're in a very favorable position to be a destination for the eastern part of the country. So I believe that the first thing we're going to see is domestic travel. We're going to see a lot of kind of agritourism, eco travel. And then travel and the road trips. I think that will be the number one thing. And then secondly, I think we're going to see more wellness travel. Mm-hmm. I think this 2020 has been really rough on people mentally and physically as well. So I think wellness travel will be something that is going to be important for 2021. There's so many different types of properties that offer resorts, spas, and treatments, all kinds of very unique things that I think there'll be in good demand for. I think people will travel. The pandemic is being so harsh on everyone that I think if you ask anyone what is on their top priorities, they just want to go somewhere.
There you go.
They want to change scenery. That's what they want to do.
Turk, can you...
Hi, Jerry.
Hi, Jerry.
Thanks for having us. We're so excited. We're still here. We're kicking it. It's tough out here for restaurants right now. So, Bizou and Bang and Luce, our side project pasta joint, are all still operational and we're open, and that is the good news. And, as you mentioned earlier, it's constant pivoting right now. The last time we spoke, we were launching The Lot and outside dining at Bang, and that was a beautiful, beautiful thing for us throughout the warm months. But let's be honest, it is like 45 degrees outside today. Even with the heater, that is not going to be appealing for a lot of people at this point. So we've got some other... Yeah.
Yeah, we're super excited about the CVille Supper Club. It's based out of Bizou, but it has a little pull from all of our different restaurants, and it is your weekly dinner meals. It is the answer to your dinner. We like to say that you are going to be the supper hero. This is the opportunity for you guys to get at least 2 dinners, possibly more, that are really from to your table within 30 to 40 minutes, ready to go. We've done all the prep and everything. You just need to assemble, possibly drizzle a little dressing or reheat something, and then it's ready to go. And you're supporting local business, which is super important. And it tastes amazing.
Yes.
Not to mention that.
This is thinking like it's going to be super slow this winter. We want to keep the staff as engaged as much as possible, and you guys have fabulous talent and know how to make food. Is this the thinking here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's also from a point of necessity on the other end too. I'm a mom. I've got 2 little ones at home who are doing virtual school all day. My husband is really taking over supervising that while I'm out hustling and trying to figure out what the next best strategy is. When we get home, even though I'm, in and around industrial kitchens and amazing chefs all day long, the last thing that I'm typically inspired to do is to spend an hour and a half slicing and dicing. Hitting the grocery store on the way home feels daunting for a number of reasons now. In the past, we've tried some of the big box, meal kit delivery services, and no hate to HelloFresh or Blue Apron or anything like that, but you end up spending another hour cooking, and it's supposed to be easier, and it's not really inexpensive. This is a local answer to that by, supporting Supper Club. You're getting a meal that's ready to go on the table, and you're ensuring that the restaurants that you love are going to be around in the future. I mean, this is it. This is crunch time for all of us. If you love the restaurants that you remember in Charlottesville, you got to support them now.
Great take. Great take from Rachel right there. Laura, I'll throw this to you here. I love the inside look into businesses. How does the idea of CVille Supper Club even get manifested? Are you guys brainstorming this idea? I mean, how does it come to fruition?
Honestly, it was something I had been kind of pushing since spring, thinking that you needed something that was easy and something that you could go to that wasn't necessarily a quick takeout, and was something easy and ready to go ideally for families. And it's meant to be serves generously. And it was something, but come in spring, we were focusing on our patios. And now, like Rachel said, it's crunch time. So we're pushing this, and we just did an amazing Thanksgiving meal, and that kind of launched everything. We're like, that went great, and we did it amazingly. And we're working on Christmas. So we're like, well, let's push the Supper Club. We need to get this out there. I mean, we know lots of families that could use it, and we're ready. We're ready to help.
So are we. We will order. Rachel, what have you seen from your customers? It seems like the majority of the population in our home wants to go out of our way to support the restaurants we love. I saw that with The Lot. I mean, it seemed to me that The Lot was successful. Give me your take on everything, Rachel.
Absolutely. No, we've been blown away by the support from our customer base, and have actually in some ways expanded what our clientele base was before, just because people are like, oh, well, we're going to support as many different places as possible, whether it's by buying gift cards, getting takeout food, joining us at The Lot during warmer months, supporting Luce. Luce is like the pandemic-proof baby of all time. It's just going and going. Every day is huge. People love their comfort food carbs, but I think also, one of our big goals with Supper Club is to offer something that's really healthy and fresh. We really kept our eyes on nutrition and making sure we had lots of vegetarian, vegan, gluten-free options. So really, no matter what your dietary preferences or restrictions are, there's going to be something that fits that niche for you. And it's going to be delicious, and it's going to be cost effective, and it's going to directly impact the livelihoods of people in your community. And I think that really appeals to people. It definitely was a selling point for Thanksgiving. We did 150 orders, each of those portioned for 8 people. So, I mean, you do the math, that's like 1,100 meals that we put out. It was phenomenal. And, my family definitely did it. And we were like, oh my God, Thanksgiving, we don't have to cook for 6 hours. We don't have to do dishes. It's all right here. And, by investing that money, we felt really, really good knowing that it was directly going to the pockets and the establishments that mean so much and really give vibrancy to Charlottesville. That's who we are.
That is super cool. Business question for you, macro. You
Sure.
guys know this business better than all of us, so that's why I'm asking here. How do you see it? Do you see it get to the vaccine? The brands and businesses that can get there and survive may have a larger slice of the pie because some of them close. I mean, do you see it just get through the next 4 months? I mean, what's your take on this?
That's our push. I mean, that's the end goal. I mean, we need to get there. We would love Supper Club to last far and beyond that. We are really excited about this venture. It's not something that is meant to just get us to a vaccine, but it's hopefully going to help us get there financially so that we can then get back to regular life.
Amen. God.
But yeah, I'll piggyback on that. I think it's going to be a boom town. I think the wheat separates from the chaff right now. I think for a lot of folks, it's a really frustrating time. It can be demoralizing to feel like, your returns on the time and energy invested aren't what they should be. But this is where you have to get creative. This is where you pivot. This is where you're like, all right, this was working great. Now it's not working anymore. What's next? What do we have next? What's on the horizon? We've been able to be so creative this year. We've been able to do things that were never possible because we didn't have, the vision, and it was.
You didn't need to do it.
Desperate. We have to
Yeah.
do it,
Yeah.
right? No, we didn't need to. But this has really pushed us out of our comfort zones. Everybody's really taken up different roles. Somehow we're working more than ever. I know that I'm working.
Yeah,
more
I
hours than-
believe it. Me too. Oh, freaking COVID, man. All right, let me throw this to you guys. You guys know the space inside and out. Who, let's highlight some of the other people out there. Who's doing cool things that we should highlight in Central Virginia restaurant world that you're seeing that should be out there?
Absolutely. Well, I think that props have to be given to a lot of Charlottesville establishments. I mean, places like Lampo that sells their pizza out within 2 hours of going live with ordering. That's incredible. Brasserie Saison's fun new stoner menu made me laugh when I saw
Me
it.
too.
I was like, I can't figure out if this is madness or genius,
Right.
but I'm definitely going to order.
Dude, I thought the same thing. I was like, is this genius? We're going to tank the brand, but either way, I'm getting these pizza rolls.
Yeah, no, I think that is the genius of it, is it's so outrageous. This is kind of an elegant, Franco-Belgian restaurant that's like, screw it, all we really want are Doritos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
go for it.
You've also got your staples, like we were talking earlier, that we have. Asian cuisine has always been a staple for takeout.
Yeah.
Chim is one of my favorite restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
And even me trying to order, sometimes you can't get an order in because they cut it off so early because they're sold out. And it's been really good to see our fellow restaurateurs thriving. Not thriving, but
Surviving. Yeah, survival of the fittest, no doubt. Chim, dude, on Sunday, they deliver to our neighborhoods. They sell out so quick, and the food is delivered to our door. It's freaking awesome. She's exactly right. All right, how about this, ladies? Anywhere you want to go, a lot of folks watching. Final word, both you guys. Anything you want to cover at all, the show's yours.
Please check out our website, CVilleSupperClub.com. We're super excited about this venture. It means a lot to us. It's kind of our little baby right now, and we would love to bring dinner into your home. And it's the menus are changing every week. We'll be highlighting a new menu every weekend. We have pickup. We also have delivery door to door. There's going to be a nominal fee, but we will deliver it right to your door, and it'll be super easy. So please check it out and come see us. We check out our Christmas menu as well, please.
Are you using third-party delivery or delivery in-house?
We're going to be doing it ourselves.
Dude, that is awesome. You're doing in-house delivery?
Yeah,
How the hell are you
absolutely.
pulling that off?
TBD.
To be determined. You guys are such badasses. I love this in-house delivery. All right, how about you, Rachel? Anywhere you want to go?
I would really like to emphasize that from a consumer standpoint, like this is something that if I saw somebody else doing, a restaurant doing, I would jump on it because I honestly think that this is like such a nice thing. It's going to feel like, you know, you spent a little while on Pinterest looking for recipes, was like, oh, this is a great meal. This is super nutritious. All my kids are going to eat it. And you can pat yourself on the back for not spending 2 hours after an otherwise frustrating day because you have both supported a local business and you put a great meal on the table and you don't really have anything to clean up. Like, this is it. This is the solution.
Dude, you guys are like the best interview ever. If you guys, I sincerely mean this, if you ever need anything ever out there, anytime you want, I swear to God, you guys can come on the show the next day. You guys are awesome. I love talking with you guys. We will support you. Thank you for coming on the show. Take care.
We appreciate it.
Our pleasure.
Bye.
Rachel and Laura are fantastic. They are awesome. They are so awesome. CVille Supper Club is a good idea. That is a good idea. And can you imagine, so who was this coming up with one of our clients? Oh yeah, it was Animal Connection, Patty Zeller. So when this COVID thing started, Animal Connection and Patty Zeller over at Ix Park, she launched same-day dog food delivery because Amazon and Chewy, they had such ridiculous demand. The dog food was coming like 5, 6, 7 days after people ordering. So Patty Zeller saw, look, there's this open niche in the Charlottesville market where if people call and order the food today and they get it today, they'll be my customer forever and they'll even pay a premium for it. So she said, I'm going to pivot and innovate in COVID, and I'm going to launch same-day dog food delivery for Charlottesville and Albemarle County through Animal Connection. And it's exploding. And now it's becoming part of the business model moving forward long-term because it was so successful. Imagine if CVille Supper Club gains so much traction that it can become an auxiliary revenue stream for this restaurant empire. You could have dine-in at Bizou, dine-in at Bang, dine-in at Luce, the event space rental at the Space, and then the Supper Club revenue. That's a new potential revenue stream right there. In the greatest hardship comes the coolest innovation. I truly, truly mean that, believe that, and that's what's happening at COVID. Let's reach out to another entrepreneur, and we're going to do this via phone, Judah, and speaker. I'm calling Valorie now.
Hey, Jerry.
Hey, Valorie, we got you.
I'm here.
Oh, fantastic. So we're doing a conference call with Valorie Easter. You may know her as a badass real estate agent. You may know her as a serial entrepreneur, as a real estate investor who's got property everywhere. You may know her from her mom, Melissa, at La Tasa. And that's how I met this fabulous woman named Valorie. Now, Valorie, we get to know you for another brand. My friend, the show is yours. What has your serial entrepreneurial mind come up with right now, Valorie Easter?
So you know I had a really bad car accident in 2002.
Right.
Where I broke my back, fractured my skull, among a ton of other things. This is coming from somebody who had never broken a bone. So for 18 years almost, I've been battling pain. And so I finally came across this CBD hemp product. It's a whole hemp product. And so I started working with the processor. They're right here in Virginia. And I have developed, my business partner and I have developed a company called Uncle Yogi's Picnic Basket. And it's kind of near and dear to me because it's named after my little brother. And it's a passion project, and it's something that I really, really, truly believe in because it's done a lot to help me with pain management and sleep and anxiety and all kinds of good stuff. So
that's awesome. That is awesome. All right, so here's the question. Ralph Northrum says a couple weeks ago, Val, that cannabis is going to be completely legalized, and the expectation is we're going to have Retail Cannabis 2022 in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. The second part of what I'm going to throw to you is Medical Cannabis is opening in Virginia. We have the second location in Richmond, a medical cannabis facility that opened about 8 days ago. Is the concept with the brand that you're building to go eventually into that space, yes or no?
So we'll eventually have both. The CBD and CBDA have their own benefits, and then the THC has its own benefits. So it's, I liken it to, like, how you have Advil, Tylenol, Motrin, aspirin, all kinds of different pain relievers, and specific ones work for specific people.
Absolutely.
It's the exact same with the hemp strains. So you might have one CBD product that works for you, but it might not work for the next guy. And for me, the CBDA, which is actually super, super low dose THC. So service providers or police personnel, hospital workers, professional athletes can use it because it's not going to show up in a drug test, but it's actually being shown to have more pain relieving benefits than the CBD counterpart. So it's really, really interesting once you start setting into what everything can do, from shrinking tumors to helping with skin issues. So we've actually done a whole skincare line. So Jerry, if you would have told me 2 years ago that I would be in an apothecary creating face cream, I would have pushed you out the door.
But you know what? If you had told me that, I would have said, I can see it, Valorie. I can totally see you doing it.
I mean, it's still like, I still just laugh at it. It's like, I have made face cream.
So is this what's happening here, Val? It's like you firsthand have seen the positive effects for you personally, and you are a successful businesswoman who knows how to launch businesses, and now you want to relay that success to other people.
Absolutely. And we've got topical tinctures that you can actually put into drinks. So if you want to put it in beer, if you want to put it in wine, if you want to put it into your morning smoothie to help with your pain relief, we're going to start selling little individual, like 7 milliliter containers to different breweries and wineries, because being able to put a CBD product into a beer in separate pieces versus trying to get a CBD beer, which is a lot more difficult. So there's a lot of different workarounds, and the alcohol acts as a carrier for the CBDA product or the CBD product. So it'll help to get to those ailments a lot faster. And, to be honest, a lot of the skincare stuff, Jerry, started with just looking at my daughter's products and then learning about, deodorant that has aluminum, and then how that can lead to breast cancer, sunscreens with, zinc and not the non-nano zinc that can, put heavy metals into skin. And they were testing children using skincare products, and it was showing up in their urine for 3 days after they stopped using the products.
Good Lord.
So we're actually, my daughter's been working, we're doing another non-CBD line, and we're calling it Boo Boo's Basket. And so that's going to be for, children or people that don't necessarily want to have the CBDA or CBD in their skincare products. But it's all natural, so it's paraben free. The shelf life is shorter. You're probably looking at 60 days, because it is all natural. We do have a preservative in it, but it's a natural preservative, and it's just you typically want to keep those things refrigerated or in cool, dark places. So, but it's all been really exciting.
This is I can sense your excitement in the interview, and that's what. And I love, and I know you do as well, I love the early stage of launching a brand. I mean, that's when like the adrenaline and the rush and the cool stuff is happening. Uncle Yogi's Picnic Basket. This brand, I think, is going to boom because you're behind it. Let's say you guys get a brick and mortar retail and it's 2022 and it's a completely different world from a law and policy standpoint. What does Uncle Yogi's Picnic Basket look like from a brick and mortar standpoint?
Oh gosh, from a brick and mortar, I mean, we're going to probably have a little bit of everything. At that point, we would most likely have a commercial kitchen. I might bring my mom back up from Florida and she can cook up some stuff. I mean, who knows? I mean, you really have no idea with the direction everything's going. And it's been fun to watch the hemp and the cannabis industry grow, because when you really research it, it can fix and handle and manage almost everything.
Yeah.
Like everything from diabetes to hypertension to arthritis to, to everything. But Big Pharma is making so much money off of all of those drugs that we're putting into our bodies when we could actually be using something that's as simple and natural as, the CBDA or the CBD whole hemp products.
I agree 1,000% with everything she said. Another one of Valerie's talents is seeing down the road and being able to be a visionary. Let's throw this question to you. 2022, I kind of see the market, the cannabis and the CBD market playing out like this. Correct me if you think if you think I'm wrong. I think you're going to have some major players, like the major players out there that are everywhere, and then you're going to have it's almost like the restaurants, Val. I think you're going to have like the Chili's and the Applebee's in the space, and then you'll have like the Bizous, the Bangs, and the Luces. And this community wants to support the Bizous, the Bangs, and the Luces. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely agree as far as that goes. And there's so much, like what I'm seeing even with the big companies, Jerry, like the big ones, they're using an isolate product because they want to be able to have no age restrictions. But if you start setting into it, the isolates don't really do anything because once you remove the THC from it, like the THC is like the captain of the football team. So you have to have something, some low dose or some amount of THC to be able to direct everybody else where they need to go. So it's going to be hard to tell what actually happens from that standpoint because either the consumer is going to get wiser up on what's actually happening and what's going to work for them because a lot of it is that placebo effect is you just think that, right? And there are benefits to the isolates, and there are benefits from the hemp plant, but it's not going to be the same because you've got that entourage effect once you have the THC in there with the other cannabinoids. So it's really who knows? I mean, really, it's kind of a unknown out there, and we don't know what will end up happening. But I know we're working on a pet care line, and we've been doing. The gentleman that I'm working with uses a lot of the byproducts, and he's been donating it to like a pit bull rescue, and it's helping those dogs with anxieties, and they're doing liver tests, and with the super low dose from the CBDA, it's not affecting their livers. So we're going to be rolling out, pet lines down the road to help animals with anxiety and just skincare products and bug sprays and sunscreen, and once we can infuse all that stuff with THC, we'll have a whole nother side of it. So it's really, really exciting, and I can't wait to see the growth of the industry.
I think you're going to crush it. I think she's going to be first to market. I think with her skill set of running a business, she's going to gain market share, and she's a hard worker. I think she's going to effing crush it. Multiple questions coming in for you. This is from Andre Xavier, co-owner CVille Hop on Tours. He said, Jerry, can you ask Valorie what kind of license a company needs to sell CBD products and also cannabis products?
So we aren't actually a processor. We're just a distributor. So our licensing is a little bit different. So we don't have to go through the agricultural. That's actually done with our processors. So they're the ones getting all the big licensing from that standpoint. For us, we're just a distributor. So we just have a regular business license. We have a number for our sales tax, and we get sales tax exempt, and then whenever we purchase our products from our processor in bulk, then we just provide them with that number. I don't know if that was helpful or not.
No, that was helpful. No, you basically outlined the supply chain. You're a distributor, so it's not like you're making the stuff.
Exactly. So we actually have our processor makes our product in-house. So I've worked with their in-house chemist to get all of the measurements and dosings and everything done properly. So they're actually packing it. So we have a single chain processing facility. So it doesn't pass. So it's not like I get the CBD or CBDA product, then I make it, so there's no chain for contamination, which is awesome. And so what we get from the processors, we'll get a batch number. And so each of those batches are tested by the state. And so they have that documentation. So if anything happens, if anybody got sick, then we can actually pull up that batch number and show where, it was clean, it didn't have any pesticides or anything like that. So
Very nice, Val. All right, last question for you. I think she's going to crush it on this. I would love, if it's cool with you, I would love to keep you coming back on here as you're building this brand, because I think this
Absolutely.
is, I just, people would love to see the flip book of what you're doing.
Yeah, and we're partnered up with Brand Strax, with Axie Blunden, who is actually from Charlottesville, used to work at La Taza, was in the kitchen back there, and so he's helping us crush it. We're with Joe Kuhn with Albemarle Hemp, and so he's actually working with Axie, and I think they've got a project that they're doing over in Waynesboro, which is super exciting. And then I'm with Seth and Lisa Richardson, which are out of Buckingham County, and they do some product for me as well. So it's been really exciting to get to know everybody and kind of build the business and the brand. And we're looking to partner with different shops and different restaurants to get our product in there as well and work some stuff out.
I think that's going to happen. Val, you're the best. Wish you the best of luck. I'll hit you up. Thank you for joining us today.
Awesome. Thanks, Jerry.
You have a good one.
All right, you too.
Bye. She's onto something. And I'm going to tell you, in the last 6 months here in the Mackla building next to the Market Street Market in downtown Charlottesville, 2 different investor groups have emailed me, scheduled a meeting with me, and spent an hour pitching their CBD and cannabis business to me right there in the Mackla building. 2 different well-financed, well-capitalized investor groups with local ties that want to be first to market when it comes to cannabis in 2022 in Charlottesville and Central Virginia. There are 2 emerging business categories that I feel leadership in Central Virginia are overlooking or not prioritizing, and that's the 2 industries the governor is emphasizing: legalized gambling and legalized cannabis. We're not seeing any efforts locally to make a push for either, certainly not from city leadership. It's going to be eventually, whether you want to admit this or not, and I know it's taboo, and I know some people think this is illegal stuff and illegal hardcore drugs. It's not. Eventually, we need to understand that this is going to turn into tourism, just like wine and beer. People come to Central Virginia to go on CVille hop-on tours or Cameron Limousine, and they go from Blue Mountain to Devil's Backbone, Star Hill, Wild Wolf. They do a beer crawl. Same thing with the wineries. It's the exact same thing that's going to happen in this area with cannabis. I can guarantee you. I can guarantee you that. And you know what else is going to happen? You talk about crystal balling and seeing down the road and into the future. Who's going to be the first restaurateur in Charlottesville or Central Virginia that combines cannabis with food? Just like a tap room. You will see a cannabis tap room. And who's going to be the first F&B expert to roll out that innovative concept? That's not a saturated niche in Charlottesville. Pizza saturated, Chinese is saturated, Italian saturated, Mexican is saturated, Asian saturated, tapas is saturated, craft burgers, they're saturated. Cannabis and food, not saturated. Who's going to be the first to do it here? You know it's going to happen. All right, a couple more items out of the notebook before I get out of here. I have a meeting in 90 minutes. 90 minutes, I have a meeting. CVille Supper Club, I think, is a great idea. Support Bang and Luce and Bizou. And did you hear him say Luce was killing it? That restaurant and brand is set up for COVID. It's a takeout window. Get your pasta, it's comfort food, it's priced well, and leave. It's set up perfectly for COVID. No tables, get your food from the window, rent is cheap, and leave. Uncle Yogi's picnic basket, follow the evolution of that brand as well. I got to ask you this question from a sports standpoint. Should UVA play in a bowl game? You beat Virginia Tech, you finish 6-4. We know bowl games are getting canceled, so there's less of them. At 6-4, you're going to play in a second-rate bowl. The UVA game against Virginia Tech is this Saturday, which is December 12th. If you play in a bowl game, you're going to ask the players to stay in Charlottesville from when they return from Blacksburg on the 12th, just call it December 13th, Sunday. You'll ask them to stay in Charlottesville from the 13th to potentially, the 30th? There's no kids on grounds. There are no students here in Charlottesville. They'd miss Christmas with their families. They'd have to quarantine by themselves and be alone. Should UVA football play in a bowl game? Or do you just say, look, we had a good 6-4 season. Let's not go to a second-rate bowl game that no one cares about. Go spend time with your family as opposed to quarantining in Dabney 101, old dorms at Bonnycastle Circle. Follow that trend. Follow that trend closely. UVA is at Virginia Tech on Saturday, 8 p.m. kickoff, ACC Network. Hokies are a 2-point favorite. Hokies have lost 4 straight. UVA has won 4 straight. It's a tale of 2 different teams. Hokies 2-point favorite, 8 o'clock kick. Michigan State at UVA college basketball, ACC Big Ten Challenge, that's tomorrow night. 9:15 ESPN. UVA has a matchup against a top 5 team here in Michigan State. Watch this one closely tomorrow as the Wahoos, their depth, their talent will be tested. That's it. That's the show. Valorie killed it. Rachel killed it. Laura killed it. 3 vivacious, intelligent, dynamic, charismatic, personable, and beautiful women on today's program. It's my lucky day today. All right, I'm out of here. I got to get to work. Thank you for joining us. It's the I Love CVille Show. All we try to do is showcase the best of Charlottesville. All we're trying to do is showcase the best of Charlottesville, Virginia. I'm not like focusing on the police report or crime. Good people doing good stuff that's new and innovative and trying to survive during COVID. That's what we're about. We'll catch you tomorrow. Take care.